Hey, what's going on YouTube? Kagen fishing here. I've got the skiff all loaded up and I'm gonna fish the diversionary today. Winds are out of the north, pretty strong, like 15, 16 miles an hour. So I'm gonna work the northern shoreline of Galveston West Bay and stay in some protected waters, but at the same time, hopefully get on some trout. You guys saw in that last video when I was over in East Matagorda Bay, I kind of broadened my style of fishing. Instead of just fishing in the marshes like I normally do, or points, I just drifted some open water. I don't know if the wind will allow for much of that today, because it is pretty strong. So I'm gonna give it a shot today and we'll see how I do. All right, ladies and gents, so I have officially launched the skiff. And it's actually not as cold as I thought it was gonna be. It said it was gonna feel like 46, which is pretty darn cold when you're on the water, especially since I'm a South Texas guy. I prefer like 80. But beautiful morning, a lot of bait action in the diversionary already. Let's get to fishing. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a bunch of small, micro-sized little, I don't know if they're shrimp or just really small shad, but I can see them and they're all in this water. All right, so I'm all the way up into Harbor Walk. A bunch of fish on my scanner. Bunch of fish. Really good sign. There we go. Yup, trout. It's a small guy, but hey, that is a good start. That is a good start. Yes. Little guy, let him go. All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. They're in the upper portion of the water column. It shows a lot of them sitting down there, but I don't know, man. I've been getting my bites on pretty much when I'm steady retrieving. All right, so there's fish here. I saw them on the depth finder. I caught one. There's blow-ups. So I'm gonna motor back up and try and work that same pocket again. There we go. There's a trout. This guy's a little better. Interesting, they're not hitting it on the bottom, they're hitting it on the slow retrieve. Very interesting that they're doing that. Usually with these winter guys, another small dude, let him go. Usually with these winter guys, they only really eat on the bottom, but they're wanting that slow retrieve. So I'm gonna keep giving it to them. I'm gonna keep giving it to them. All right, 2 trout of the day. Pretty cool. Feels nice actually catching trout in a super windy, pretty chilly day. But this water is 60 degrees in here now. It is a lot warmer than any water anywhere else. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, dude, I caught a ribbon fish. Look at that guy. These are some wicked looking creatures. Have you guys ever caught one of these on an artificial? I've caught a couple before, but they are the creepiest fish I think that you can catch. They're just snake-like in nature. Their scales are pretty dang sharp, and they're really good offshore bait, but I'm inshore fishing, so I'm gonna chunk this guy. But hey, all right, I'm gonna get him out of here. But pretty good sign that I'm catching, I've caught 2 trout and a big nasty ribbon fish, which is gross, but pretty cool that I'm catching fish in here right now. The water is 60 degrees, which is 4 degrees warmer than anything out in the bay was. And so I'm gonna stay in here for a while and keep fishing. So I'm just gonna keep on slinging some lures. Did you guys see that? That freaking ribbon fish just jumped out of the water. Dude, I mean, these guys are good fights, but they are nasty creatures. Look how its fins are moving like a snake. Oh, dude. Woo, caught me. All right, look at that creepy dude. back-to-back ribbon fish is not what I wanted to catch at all. But hey, I mean, I'm catching fish. They fight like crazy, dude. Whenever I hooked into that thing and I saw that silver flash, I thought I had a really solid trout on. Oh, wow. Look at that. He stuck me good. I didn't think he got me, but I guess he did. Dang. Oh my gosh. Dripping blood all over my skiff and everything? That's gross. And those ribbon fish have big nasty teeth. Wow. I caught a couple small trout, a couple ribbon fish. That guy got me good in the finger. There's still some kind of blow ups, but not really the action I'm looking for. Good sign though that this water is really warm. So what I'm gonna do is there's an inlet from Greene's Lake that feeds into Harbor Walk in the deeper water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around to this other side and see if, since there's more tidal flow, warmer water, if those bigger fish are gonna be stacked up waiting to ambush the bait fish coming out of Greene's Lake. Let's go see what we can find. Oh, there we go, right at the boat. There we go, there's another little trout. There's small fries today, but it feels good to be able to get on some fish. That's for sure. There we go. Little chunker. This guy's a little better than the other ones were. Let him go. All right. All right. Get my blood off the skiff. You know you've been fishing hard when you got blood on your skiff. All right, well, even though I caught a trout here, I'm really thinking that if I go back to this other spot, like I said that I was a minute ago, there's gonna be fish there. I just had to stop off in this little cut to see if I could get some guys. The good thing is that they're actually eating still today, even though this is like day one during front. All right, so I've arrived to the mouth of Greene's Lake that dumps out into Harbor Walk. It's got some really good tidal movement through here right now. And previously on the kayak, I've been up in here and I caught an entire slew of trout. I don't know if it'll be that way today, but the water is 57. So all that water coming out of the marsh is pretty chilly. So maybe these guys are kind of hunkering down in this deeper hole right at the mouth as it dumps out. It's just a guess, but you know, that's how you fish. You kind of check out what the weather's doing, what the water's doing, temperature changes, and then you just kind of adapt. So I'm just gonna kind of chunk up in here a little bit. I'm not gonna spend too much time. I'm definitely gonna give it a solid go though. That felt like a fish. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid whirl in here. And if nothing's here, I'm gonna go and fish on the north side of West Bay. That north wind has it all really protected, and it looks pretty dang good. So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot up there, but I do want to really try this spot since it's an outgoing tide and it drops off to these deeper waters right here. All right, so I'm right off the Intracoastal Waterway going through Meekum's Cut. It is super shallow. I'm talking half a foot. Yep, half a foot. You can't get through here on a normal boat. You'd have to go through a bigger cut that's up over there. But what I'm doing is I'm just getting behind these reefs so I can be in more protected waters. And I'm just gonna work this north shoreline of the bay. All right, so I'm just making my drift. There's a really shallow reef right in here, and it just drops 3-4. So I'm just kind of fishing this transition line to see what's out here. I'm trying to expand my fishing styles. Trying to do a little bit of drift fishing in some open bay. It's something that I usually would never do. All right, so I've worked to Greene's Cut. The water was really pretty, and now there's this little line of color change. Usually color change indicates potentially trout sitting there, and they weren't. I worked that entire north shoreline of West Bay,
and not a single bite. It was getting around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and after just catching a couple trout and a couple ribbon fish, I decided to call it a day. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for watching another episode of Kagen Fishing. I'll catch you next time.